right, so welcome back to Close Up. Carol Shea Porter, Frank Ginta, Shea Porter, Frank Ginta, and Carol Shea Porter. You know where I'm going with this. That is how New Hampshire's 1st Congressional District has been represented since 2006. So who might be up to the challenge of breaking that pattern? And a growing number of Republicans think it might be my next guest this morning. Joined now by Eddie Edwards. Good to see you, sir.
Thank you, Josh. Always a pleasure to be with you.
You've been active. A lot of people know you in this state, but I always ask people this, and I always wonder this before they jump into a race. Why would you even consider it?
Well, I think when I think about the current representation that we're receiving in Congressional District 1, I'm very disappointed. You know, Congresswoman Carol Shea Porter had an opportunity to do something different when she went back to Washington. She said on day one she's not interested in working with her fellow colleagues in Congress or working with the president by not showing up to the presidential inauguration. That was very disappointing for many people in CD1.
So as you think about this, where are you? Because I know there's a lot of people who are encouraging you to do it and get in there, that the first CD needs some fresh blood in there and some new ideas. Yeah, so where are you?
Well, I'm making my decision. I'm getting closer to that, and in the next 2 weeks I'll have a final decision. But it's been really refreshing to receive the support from a full spectrum of folks, voters across the district. I mean, from families, from small business owners, from law enforcement, from public health, prevention specialists, all over.
The crisis of addiction obviously is going to be a major issue in this race. Unfortunately, it's going to continue to be that way for a while. Let me ask you about Donald Trump. So you're a couple of weeks away from, so you're not a candidate yet. So let me just give you your opinion. Obviously, everybody's got an opinion. Good, bad, I mean, what's your view of what's taking place and what he's brought to Washington?
Well, here's one of the things I think Donald Trump has brought to Washington. He's cutting waste. He's changing the environment of Washington, and that's what the voters wanted. And it's time that we start respecting the voters. Unlike Carol Shea Porter, someone who is currently in the position who doesn't respect the voters of her district. They voted for Donald Trump in Congressional District 1. They voted for him. He won the district. She decided not to honor their representation by being in Washington and doing the right thing and fighting for them. Donald Trump has brought a new energy to Washington, changing the climate there. And that's very difficult. When you start changing the cultural conditions in Washington that people have been set up for so many years that this is the way we do things. People are tired of being lied to, manipulated, and that's why there's a tremendous pushback.
Yeah, I mean, we certainly heard that from the voters in 2016. Obviously, the issue of the day right now is the Affordable Care Act, what's going to replace it. A lot of Republicans who are waiting for it were expecting a lot more. What's your take?
Well, at this point, it's about listening and watching what's going on in Washington right now. And I'll make my decisions as we get closer to that point. But right now, it's about listening to the voters, understanding what they need. But I do know they sent folks to Washington to do something different. And again, Carol Shea Porter didn't do that. She's become someone who is just there to be disruptive in the district. She's not serving our district well. You don't see her anywhere. I haven't seen her. Well, anywhere.
Well, she's working in Washington too, so I'll just.
I haven't seen her do anything.
I mean, you sound like you're just about ready to go and get into this thing, and there's certainly no shortage of issues to deal with. You brought up the opioid crisis and how it ties to the Affordable Care Act. Are block grants the way to go when it comes to this, so New Hampshire can figure out how they want to spend their money to address their problems?
Well, when you think about the issues of opiates, we've always had challenges around substance abuse. One of the things we haven't done well is use our funding effectively. And so when we think about providing funding to communities, providing funding to states, we have to focus on prevention. That's the one area we haven't done a good job in, and that's the one area that actually works. There'll always be challenges. A couple of years ago, before we had the opiate crisis, we had the synthetic marijuana crisis. We didn't do a good job there. We didn't send the right message there, strike the right tone. We passed legislation, but we didn't do an effective job of prevention.
I want to get your opinion on something. You have a background in law enforcement. You were the chief enforcement agent for the Liquor Commission. You were the police chief at Southampton.
Yes.
Obviously, relations between community, particularly in urban communities, and law enforcement has been difficult. Where does that start to heal? Does it start in Washington, or does it start in the communities themselves? And what can Washington do to augment?
Well, I appreciate that question, Josh, because I think, again, this is an area where we haven't seen a lot of leadership. You know, so when I think about the minority community, the law enforcement community, it's about being honest with people, empowering the individual. And we haven't done that well as of late. So what we've done is seen people try to empower different groups. So I don't have to be empowered as a black person by diminishing you. and that's what we do. We try to empower communities by diminishing the role and responsibility of law enforcement. We need law enforcement. And again, you see Carol Shea Porter, someone who believes that we have to empower little girls, for instance, by diminishing little boys. Those type of politics are over. Well, you know, when her and many others were saying that, you know, it's time to put women first. Well, what do you say to little boys? This divisiveness that we've had, that in order for you to feel good, in order for you to feel empowered, I have to diminish someone else. That's wrong for this country. That's wrong particularly wrong for New Hampshire.
Well, yeah, a lot of people think that we're putting in too many boxes, that's for sure. We're just about out of time, but I want to ask you this. If you decide to run and you win, right after you win, you're basically running again in Congress. You're looking at 2-year terms. I mean, that's a difficult road to hoe. Is that an effective way, do you think? I mean, it is what it is right now, but are 2-year terms the best approach when it comes to Congress?
Well, you know, that's always come up, right? But I believe in the people. So I think people have a right to hold you accountable. And if you're not doing the job, they should be able to recall you pretty shortly. Not to let you drag on for 4, 6, 8 years. Because let's face it, a lot of wonderful people out there. I'm one of them. None of us deserves to be in politics for 15, 20, 30 years. These are professional rule makers. We have enough of that. Let's get some ordinary people there who have courage and integrity and are ready to lead.
All right, so what do you do when you're not paying attention to what's going on in Washington and thinking about things in the first CD? Off time?
Well, my off time is spent trying to work out, trying to stay healthy, trying to keep my bulldog in check, because he has the same problem I do, just eating and just relaxing. So we try to stay focused. And my wife and I, we travel a lot. We like traveling the country, seeing different sites.
Now, your bulldog, you know, that's kind of one of the symbols of the Marine Corps. You're in the Navy. Thanks for your service, by the way. That's one. Well, that's all right. What's the bulldog's name?
Maximus.
Maximus, the
Yes.
bulldog. Okay. Have him out on the campaign trail.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. If I go, he'll be there.
When you make up your decision, come back here, let us know, would you?
Definitely.
Good to see you.
Definitely.
All right, that's going to wrap up this edition of Close Up New Hampshire. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. Of course, we'll be back here next week. Until then, enjoy March Madness. Go Red Sox. Have a great Sunday.